Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Front End Happy Hour podcast.
Welcome to this week's JS Party.
Live from Shipshape Studios, this is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot, with your hosts, Robbie the Wagner and me, Charles William Carpenter III.
That's right, Charles. We drink whiskey and talk about web development. I mean, it's all in the name. It's not that deep.
This is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot. Do not adjust your set.
Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot is brought to you by...
Today's episode is brought to you by Warp, the only terminal you can write Markdown in like it's a 2000s text area. Get 1,000 free credits when you sign up to try their new cloud agents, spin up some work, switch devices, or go mobile and continue that session. Check it out at oz.dev. Warp's code editor now has LSP support to provide hover info, go to definition, and all that jazz you expect from an IDE, but it's in a terminal. It's also pre-packed with slash commands like init, fork, plan, cloud agent, rewind, and soon orchestrate to have a main agent spawn sub-agents. It's built with Rust, super modern. Go get those free credits at oz.dev. All right, back to the nerds.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot with your hosts, Robbie the Wagner and Adam Thomas Argyle, the nerd.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey. We have two very important guests with us today. Adam, could you tell the folks at home who we've got on the show today?
Oh, absolutely. Both these cats coming to us from the Programming Podcast. In this corner, Leon Noel, Managing Director of Engineering at Resilient Coders, founder and leader of 100 Devs, distinguished faculty at General Assembly, lecturer at Harvard Business School, guest lecturer at MIT Sloan Entrepreneur Educator and turbo booster of hundreds of underrepresented folks looking to break into web tech, and soon to be my Pokemon Go friend, as long as you're still playing. And I wonder if you play Monster Hunter. Questions for later. And in this corner, we have Danny Thompson, Senior Developer Advocate at Atlassian, speaker who's done over 200 talks. What the fuck, 200 talks? That shit is crazy, dude. Workshop runner, community grower, event thrower, meetup maker, known to go from gas stations to billboards, is another rad turbo booster of hundreds of underrepresented people looking to break into web technology. And did I stumble upon a book that you're writing? You better tack on author to that list. Welcome to the show, y'all. Stoked to have you.
Thanks for having us. I'm stoked too. Let's go.
I was actually scared. He was like, and here's Danny Thompson. Like, after that.
Oh, that would have been a good joke.
That's literally
relief.
I was like, I was so ready for that. But thank you. Man did some research. I got to give it to him.
I appreciate it.
I do.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, doing good. So, as the name of this podcast entails, we always start with whiskey. We've got a Japanese one today, the Matsui single cask Sakura. It is 100% malted barley, 96 proof, and aged in Japanese cherry wood, which I guess is Sakura. I don't know. I'm uneducated. And maybe ex-bourbon barrels as well, depending on where you ask on the internet. So
I just opened the box. I didn't get any notes of anything. Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah, you got to open the bottle first.
It's not like a letter from junior high girlfriend or whatever that puts her perfume on it, you know?
I wouldn't know about that either, unfortunately. But regardless, let's see.
Some funny other backstory here. Also, it's Sakura, by the way. But whatever. No, it's cool. I like how you said it too.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a redemption arc. This company was before, like a lot of Japanese whiskey apparently is imported, blended in Japan, and then exported. So it's not even Japanese whiskey. And so these folks have been teased for years about doing that. They just slap a label on something that's not actually Japanese whiskey. So anyway, this is their redemption arc. So now that they get to be like, oh yeah, well now we're a distillery at the foot of a snow-capped mountain called Mount Dyson. And these are single cherry wood casks, hence the name Sakura. And they have ultra soft groundwater that's filtered through volcanic soil. The same aquifer is what softens their whiskeys and lets the Sakura influence shine instead of turning overly bitter. And there's no added color. So anyway.
Fuck Pete. Yeah.
You know how I know this is an expensive bottle? There's actual ink from a handwritten pen at the bottom. That's like extra.
Yeah, you got to pay extra
for
for that.
Yeah. Oh, I got 290 out of 300.
I got 289. Sucks to be you.
294.
Damn. Closer to the original.
156.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh, you win.
Ooh,
You got a toast for us, Adam, before we drink?
I do have a toast. To the craft of the code and the warmth of the pour. Here's to building tables where there were once only walls and architecting spaces that leave no one behind. May the web we build be as accessible, open, and inviting as a shared bottle amongst friends. To breaking down barriers, debugging our biases, and lifting up the users who need it most. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yep.
Hey.
Jeez. Yeah. It smells really good.
I smell limes.
Limes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sharp at first. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty stringent. I was expecting more like vanilla-y. They said like
Golden
cherry
honey?
blossom.
Oh, were we not supposed to drink it yet? My bad.
Oh, do it, dude.
Oh, you can. Whatever you
I heard everybody still talking about the smell. I was like, oh
You
no.
can go through phases. It's okay.
Ooh, the taste is much different. Tastes a lot scotchier. Got that classic Sharpie taste.
I like it. The scotchy peatiness. Give it to me. But it's sweet. It's got a sweetness to the peat. Sweet peat.
Yeah,
It's alcohol.
it sure is.
It's almost like cheaper Macallan.
Yeah. It's smoother Macallan. It's smoother than I was anticipating, which is good. The one thing that I find interesting is like I always look for, I don't know if there's like a special name for this, but when I breathe in again, does it feel like a dragon is there? And it does. So like I'm sure that's sophisticated liquor talk right there, but it actually tastes pretty decent. I'm thoroughly surprised.
Chuck calls that the hug. If you can feel it burning you, and it's the hug.
But wait, I think I know what he's saying though, which is different. Like sometimes I'll take a sip and yeah, if you breathe in oxygen over top of it, there is an aromatic and it fills your mouth and your lungs and it can be kind of burny, but also kind of like the hug where you're like, the hug is nice. There's a vaporized hug type of vibe. I like it. The Fire Dragon is very nice.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a very stringent rating system on this show. It is 0 to 8 tentacles. 0 being the worst, wouldn't even clean your toilet with it. 8 being the best. You don't want to drink anything else ever again. 4.5-ish is average, middle of the road.
What has been an 8 for you in the past?
Good question.
We've only had like 3 8s, I think, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you what they are. But
they were so good, they were unmemorable.
Well, no, I mean they're memorable, but we've had 240 whiskeys or whatever. I'm like,
was Lagavulin 16 that recently? Did I give that an 8?
I think it was high, but I don't think you've given anything an 8 yet. I think it was like 7.75.
Where does Jack Daniels end up on this rating scale for you?
Not high.
4,
3, 3 probably. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, we've had some zeros.
I'm on roller skates, but other than that, I don't want it.
Yeah, there was this one that was it was called the Derringer, and I bought it only because it had a pistol cork, which I thought was really cool, and it was the worst whiskey I've ever had. I believe that. Yeah, terrible. Anyway, Adam, you want to show us how the rating goes?
Yeah. So I'm really loving scotches right now. I've been drinking a lot of them, so it's kind of interesting to have one that's from Japan, literally from Japan. So it's not just blended there, and I think they're hitting on all of the notes. There's like a sparkliness to it, and I like the natural color, the natural sort of flavoring. It feels very authentic. I'm gonna give this a 7.
7, wow.
Nice. It's pretty good. Yeah, who wants to go next?
Well, I'm kind of glad that I was afraid we were going to do this like Planet Poker and send like our ratings in the chat just so there's no bias. Glad that didn't happen. Oh. I do like this. It isn't the best thing that I've ever had. It is very smooth compared to what, based on the original smell, I thought it was going to be. The dragon fire breath is definitely there. So your first inhale after taking a drink will feel sharp. So I like it, but I also dislike how strong it is. And it feels a little bit warmer, a little bit longer than what I would like for each sip. It almost feels like you're taking like some really strong cough syrup that's like opening up your chest. And I kind of like the warm feeling, but not to that effect. To me, it's like a 5.5. I would definitely have it again. I think it's above average. I do think like if somebody had it, I would definitely drink it with them. I don't know if I would feel compelled to go out of my way to go buy this bottle though.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel similar. Big fan of Japanese whiskeys. I was telling off pod, Hibiki Harmony is one of my favorites for a long time. And so there's definitely some notes of like the Hibiki Harmony coming through. I think I would put it above a 4, so I'm feeling like a strong 5, just because it's something that I would recommend people try, especially if you haven't tried any of the Japanese whiskeys. It's definitely worth the drink. Definitely the slight, I don't like the aftertaste on it as much as I thought I would. The smell is very different than the taste too. I'm not getting any of like the vanilla that I thought I would get. Very, very mild, but overall I enjoy it. I would say a strong 5. Definitely, if you see it, I would try it. Worth a taste.
Yeah. I'm kind of similar in that like it's above average, but it's definitely not my favorite. I don't know. I think I think a 5 is appropriate. I don't know. Can't tell you why. Don't super love it.
Dragonfire is real, as you call it.
I didn't have a more sophisticated name, so that's what I'm rocking with.
What scotches have you been drinking recently, Adam, that you've liked?
Some Highland ones, and then the Lagavulin. So the Lagavulin being super smoky, and then the Highland ones from, what's the area? There's an area. Anyway, they have very similar qualities, similar color, similar tingliness on my tongue, peaty and bright, I would say, as opposed to like syrupy or bourbony or sugary. And I've just kind of like, I'm a very earth-toned flavor palette type of person. I drink my coffee black. I drink tea just as it is. Like if you give me a tea, I'm like, I want to taste the like leaves and shit. Like don't mask this. And so it's kind of what I like about scotches is they bring me back to that sort of like, I'm drinking something green. I'm drinking something earthy. I want the bitter and natural flavors. I don't need any disguises. You know, I'm like, just give me as you are. I want to discover your journey on my tongue. That's weird to say, but Danny's nodding like I made sense. It's great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm in a similar light. I like, especially when it comes to beer, I like the more bitter beers than I do the lighter tasting ones. When it comes to liquor, I'm on a similar plane as well. Like I like I guess for the lack of a more sophisticated terms, the earthier tasting ones versus the sweeter ones. But like then I say that, and then it's like, I like Jack Daniels, but I guess that's also the Memphis, Tennessee side kicking in with that one.
Yeah. Lagavulin 16 is definitely one of my core 3 in rotation.
Ooh, yeah.
But that earthiness is what my family and friends label as the Band-Aid flavor.
Really?
But I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the 16 was pretty good. A lot of them are just really smoky or really peaty, and I feel like that one was just nicely balanced.
Although that one was made as like a smoky joke, and then everyone was like, bring it on.
Yeah. All right.
Delicious.
So,
well, I will say, just for argument's sake, I decided to throw some Coke in it. I can't even taste the liquor. I guess the sweetness of it mixes really well with it. I can't taste it. And I'm not like one of those like, oh my God, Bacardi tastes like Sprite. It's like, no, Bacardi tastes like Bacardi. But like this legitimately, I can't tell that there's alcohol in this right now.
Well, hey, good mixer then, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So we have not done hot takes in a while, and all of them are kind of lukewarm at this point, but just going to do a couple of the favorites just for fun. All right. Get Rebase or get Merge?
Oh, no. I've heard your takes on that. But I don't know if I heard everybody's takes on this. I think I joined one live episode that you did, and you were discussing this. I'm a get Rebase kind of person, and it's actually, I'm one of those weirdos that actually looks at the history. And so that makes sense why. But one of the best engineers that I ever worked with in the entirety of my life, he is now retired. And he is actually one of the strongest reasons why I truly understand Golang at a very deep level, where I was very like proficient with it. I was like architecting some amazing solutions with Golang, and a lot of that came because of his guidance. And he instilled rebasing into the entire team. And I was so against it because I was a git merge kind of guy. And once I finally felt, okay, I see the light at this point. And the light to me is this. I should never merge multiple opinions into one conversation unless it's from the person that's giving that opinion, right? Then I can take the nuance, I can take all the information. If I'm just merging your intelligence of a take with my lack of intelligence on what your nuance should be, that's a bad thing to mix together, right? Or if I rebase it, I have a liquor mixer that I can't even taste. And so I get all the history, I get all your information, I get everything that you wanted. I could squash it if I need to, but rebasing by itself, I think I'm big on keeping that linear history. And I know the take a lot of people have is like, who really looks at the history? You might not look at it today, but when you finally do need to go back and find that commit that broke something and then fix everything, you'd be very appreciative of having a history that is in line, you know why things are happening, and it's easy to follow. And so for that, I'm on the rebase train.
I don't know if it's the Dragonfire speaking, but whatever 4.6 or Codex tells me to do is what I do these days. Who gives a crap?
Oh, man.
4.6 loves the rebase, so that's what we're going with.
Well, wait, you let your... Here's the new hot take, I feel like.
Yeah.
Stop me if I'm wrong, but do you let AI git commit for you? This
Hell
is my
yeah.
question.
Not a dinosaur. What are you doing?
This is a debate that we've been having.
Yeah, I think it really depends how much I trust what it's doing at the time. A lot of times I'm not wanting it to. And then it, like most of the time when I don't want it to, it decides that that's when it's going to do it. It's like when I actually don't care is not the time that's going to do it. But when I'm like experimenting with a thing, it's like, oh, like I was working on some open source project. I forget what it was. And it was like, oh, I pushed a release for you with a new tag. You're welcome. And I went, fuck, what? No.
No.
Like, don't do that.
that.
So yeah, it was, it can be bad. So make sure you let it know right up front what you would prefer.
I have a hot take that we can go into after this, but I'm curious on Adam and Robbie's take on the git rebase, git merge.
Robbie, take it away first. I'll follow up.
Yeah, I'm rebase for the same reasons that you said, Danny. Like, the people that say the history doesn't matter have never looked at 500 commits in a row of fix this, change that, do this, save, work in progress. And I don't want that. So yeah, I always want each PR should be one commit. And I don't even want the second commit that says you merged this commit. So I want just that one. And that's why I rebase.
This is why he was one of our earlier guests on the podcast. Robbie, I see you, Robbie. Okay.
No pressure to me
now,
then,
based on that, I feel like
here.
Adam is about to make me feel heartburn, but let's continue.
No, I'm very much a rebaser, but I will admit though that I was like, hey, what's the shame of like a git merge if you're just going to squash me anyway? So look, if you're going to take my PR and squash it into a single, who gives a shit if I merged or not? Like, right? Like, no one cares. If you're talking about a clean history, the history is clean on the main, but like, hey, my work in progress, you got to see how I worked. Hey, I pulled in a merge. I merged right now. You all merged too when you rebased. You just struggled through it more, right? You were just like, I need to merge, but make it look like I didn't merge. I'm going to rebase. This is how I do it by acting. I'll deal with all the conflicts, which are really complex, but I'll just do it anyway. Anyway, I'm still on rebase, but I have recently been very much on the team like Worktree and Stack team, whether it's through like Git Butler or Graphite as these kind of two like meta scenarios on top of Git. And I'll admit in the beginning, I didn't like it very much like Rebase treated me, but over time, I'm all in on like team stacks and team work trees. These are really ways to like liberate your way with Git. They're just abstractly a little bit more intense. And so consider me Rebase, but also consider me dabbling in stacks and work trees. How about y'all?
I don't know if I care enough about that one. I don't want to say I don't, but I also haven't really given it much thought. So that's interesting. You're making me think through it right now. And I don't have a take on this at this very moment, but give me a couple more sips and maybe I will. But right now,
yes, the dragon heat, it'll hit
the dragon heat.
I feel like work trees were really important to me for like 1 month. I talked to Danny about for like at least a solid month. Work trees. And then cloud agents kind of took over for me. And now they're just on their own machine. So it's like, all right, you can go do whatever the heck you want to do. And then we'll figure it out later. Which is why like I don't mind giving up the rebasing decision when I have 4 different cloud agents coming all back together with random stuff.
That all makes sense. Wow, that's an awesome take. Very modern. Love it.
You know, it's interesting where this conversation is going because 11 months ago, we had a guest on our podcast. And we were talking about how the CEO of an AI company said that 90% of code will be written by AI tooling.
Did you hear our Hot Pockets joke?
What?
The Hot Pockets joke? The CEO of Hot Pockets says that in 2026, all meals will be Hot Pockets.
True. Facts.
But like looking back on this 11 months later, do you still feel that figure is off?
That Hot Pockets are not all the meals?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, yeah, obviously that one. Like,
yeah, no, I think we've been talking about this, like, you know, we've talked almost exclusively AI for our last, like, I don't know how many episodes. Because I think in the past, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, it's hard to say exactly the time frame or what, because it all moves so fast. But there was just one day where it was just not the worst thing to use anymore. And I was like, okay, I can actually use this. And we talked to Zach from Warp about this, where it was like, he had this post on LinkedIn where he was like, how come my seniors will never start with AI first? They just want to code it. They don't want to like ask any AI. And we were all kind of like, because it's fun. I like to code. I can do it better. I'm not like, I don't need it. Now it can code circles around me all day. So I'm like, why would you not use it? Everyone should be using it. You should be doing, like Leon was saying, like throw a ton of agents in the cloud, let them go to town. Like, I think the game has changed a bit, and maybe it hasn't changed a ton, but like the little ways it has changed has made it more approachable for agentic workflows and like for seniors to really like take that on and own that. And like, it's like managing a team almost. And you can really build stuff that you, before, like I would just be fighting with it all day. Like, do this. And it's like, cool, I did it. And it's like, no, that's not it at all. Like, that's completely wrong. Oh, cool, I did it. Oh no, that's still completely wrong. But now it's like, it's greater than half the time. It's just almost flawless. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's so interesting because on the podcast you said this. Producer, play the clip.
But that was the arc of legitimately our podcast. That was the arc. It was like October when we first started. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Danny. This is all nonsense. Like, I've never gotten anything worthwhile from this. You're absolutely out of your mind. And then like 3 months later, I was like, actually, wait a minute. Hold on now. And then I think January was a big, like, I don't know, like December, January, everything changed again for me. Like it became way more useful again. And so I just keep seeing these like ratchets that have been happening like every 3 months where something kind of changes and it becomes a bigger part of my workflow than it was before. No.
Are you OpenClawing? You got an OpenClaw?
So
I'm not on purpose.
So here's something you have to know about
it's
me.
The next fun thing. It's crazy. Yeah. It's the best thing I've done in 15 years of coding. It's the weirdest, most addictive thing I've done in a while.
I'm really susceptible to scams. I know this about myself. I know this about myself. I just like I don't know, e-commerce stuff. Like I know it's got me my whole life.
Yeah, you're like deflection.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's been my hesitation with OpenClaw. It's just like if all the people that got me in the past are now doing OpenClaw.
Oh man, it's the one to let in, dude. It's the one that actually works for you.
But take your advice.
I'll stop for a sec.
So you don't have to buy a Mac Mini to do it. Just throw it in a server on the cloud for a few bucks and try it out.
We're saying Railway has it now. Like that was really cool. Yeah,
this can lead into like our next hot takes. We just did an episode on this recently, and Leon and I, just to show, by the way, how far Leon has come. I have been pro AI for a very long time. So much so that someone on our last podcast episode said, after I referenced the 90%, they said this, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. And I would equate it to like 90% of art is made by toddlers, right?
Who was that?
Amazing quote, because it's stuck in my head so much that I had to go pull it back. But Leon has gotten to the point now where in our last episode, or I think it was 2 episodes ago, he talked about how he wants to be at a stage where he could be more hands off with the code. Where I'm of the mindset and matter that I actually want to be super hands on while using AI as a productivity enhancer, a force multiplier, but I'm very, very, very much hands on. He wants to get to a point where he's like, I love this so much that I'd love on like a lot of my side projects, whatever it may be, where I could be more hands off. For y'all, what is your positioning on this? Are you the hands on? Are you the hands off? Are you the type where it's like, I would just love to voice to text from my phone and be done with the thing?
It depends. If I'm going to look at the code ever again, like if it's a domain that I have knowledge in, then I want to be more hands-on. But whereas like I spent a good 3 weeks building a color picker magnifier thingy in Rust.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know any Rust. So have at it. I don't ever need to see the code as long as it works. Rust has great errors. So like it's not going to be broken if it compiles. So like, like in that situation, I just need it to work, write some tests that can show me it will continue to work, and I'm cool. But if it's like my day-to-day JavaScript, TypeScript code that I'm like going to look at a lot, and that's like what I live in, then I care a little bit. I want it to be the way I would write it-ish. Like it doesn't have to be exactly the way I would do it, but it can't be using like completely non-standard stuff and just kind of like throwing crazy stuff out there.
I'm navigating this space as I feel like anyone else is, where I have many domain expertises. I have a lot of opinions. I have a lot of vocabulary. I have a lot of taste. And I'm finding myself more and more, finding myself more and more like art directing, technical steering. My job has changed. My job has changed more in the past few months than it's ever changed in my entire career. And I'm not sad about it. I used to be sad about it. Last year, you would hear me crap on AI all the time. It tried to do a thing, and I evaluated, and it sucked, and it did suck. And these days, I'm like, I evaluated a thing. I'm like, oh my God, it's good. I'm at the point right now where there's two revelations that have happened to me that I can't deny. One of them is while I'm making coffee in the morning, French press takes about 12 minutes. I can open and close a PR. I can find a GitHub issue, voice it, be like, hey, there's a GitHub issue. Here's the thing. You should just do this strategy. And then by the time my coffee is done, I've reviewed the code and merged it in fucking GitHub in the app on my phone. And I'm like, well, that shit is crazy. The other thing that's driving me crazy is that OpenClaw is now out coding me while I sleep. And so like, this is why I'm like, Leon, you got to try this out. If you're into like the cloud thing, like this is cool. I call it the burn window, which is I'm cheap. I'm paying for Claude $20 a month, which means I have a limited amount of things I can do every 5 hours. The thing is OpenClaw has cron jobs. So I'm like, hey, before the 5-hour window hits, if I haven't done shit with my tokens, spend that shit. Yeah. Spend them. And I have a whole task list of stuff it does. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't wake up and I don't look at my social networks anymore. I wake up and I look at what OpenClaw did. I wake up and I'm like, what shit got beat? Dude, I have a whole bunch of apps. I have apps right now. So like you check my Blue Sky.
Like your whole home screen.
Yeah, my whole home screen is covered in PWAs that are being made by OpenClaw right now. I have a banjo tracker. I have a whiskey tracker. I have a beer tracker. I have a birthday tracker. I'm kind of like taking data that used to exist in all these silos and all these walled gardens, and I'm like, that's just mine. And I'm doing it with OpenClaw. I'm like, hey, OpenClaw, open up a browser. I've already authenticated you into Untapped. I've already authenticated you into guitar tabs or Ultimate Guitar. And I'm like, go steal every single one of my tabs. And I want you to take them, put them on my local hard drive, and I want you to do it with scripts. And next time, I don't even have to use tokens. I just want to spend script time on my computer, my desktop computer up here, which is a gaming machine, which I'm a dad, and I have 2 kids that are 7 and 9, and I don't game anymore. So use those fucking GPUs and make me some apps. And dude, I wake up and I review code and I wake up and I'm also building a Shopify store. I wake up and I'm like, this thing farted my job. This is where I'm at right now with like this stuff is I used to spend hours and hours sweating details about the craft, and I still love the craft, and the craft has enabled me to empower this thing to do the work. But dude, in like 5 minutes, this thing farts out hours of my life into code that's well executed. And so this is what I mean. I was like, I used to care that my job was sweating the details in terms of code, and now I sweat the details at a higher level as an art director, as a technical steerer. It's crazy. I'm in love. I'm in love in a weird way, because in one way I'm in love, and another way I'm like, I'm ruining the world, and water is boiling, and I'm torturing poor souls in this country that have to live next to these machines. Or maybe, and then even that I'll read counterpoints that are like, hey, that data center recycles all of its water, so it's actually not consuming a single drop outside of itself. And I'm like, oh shit, really? Then I'm just like reading headlines like a dork. Oh God, I am reading headlines like a dork. I need to read. So I'm going to stop talking now. But that's how I feel about AI.
Keep talking. What's your setup? Are you using a mini? Are you in the cloud? What models does it have access to? Like, what are you?
No, this particular one up here. Okay, so dude, I'm gonna love telling you about this. This is like a regular old gaming machine. Mm-hmm. But the thing is like I installed vanilla OpenClaw on it, and I said, hey, OpenClaw, in the burn window, the first few things I want you to do is add security, and I want to make sure that anytime you scrape a website, you're immune to prompt injection, because I know that like these are things you're susceptible to. So when you have downtime, can you believe the downtime of the brain of my computer is spent improving itself? It does self-healing and self-improvement when it's just chilling with my extra tokens. And so those are the first few things that I had to do, was build guards, build rails. And then the third thing I had to do was make sure that when I ask it to do something that did cost tokens, it makes scripts that make these things replayable without tokens. And then the fourth thing I had to do was build a dashboard about where are my tokens being spent, because I want to know where you're doing something stupid. And I just blogged about this over the weekend. It's at nerdy.dev. You can go check out how my token dashboard informed me that everything being posted in my Discord channel and the general channel was being bundled up into one big context, every request. And I said, cut that shit out, OpenClaw. Your goal is to take my request in the general channel, open up a thread, and that is the context. It's the single message. And if you're in a thread and I text you, then I want you to crawl only up one message and look to see for some context, maybe two messages. Crawl up until you feel confident that what you're doing is the most minimal and most applicable thing. Dude, so Pi, I don't know if you've used Pi yet versus Claude, but Pi is a trainable puppy. And I have a puppy up here on my gaming machine that is now my pet. And I call it Punk Ass, which is short for Punk Assistant. Anyway, I thought that was clever. Anyway, so like this is the coolest thing I've ever done with my computer in my whole life, and I'm trying not to freak out about it. Be the
not
the
very
person.
excited about it at all.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I am going to stop talking this time, even though you egged me on, Leon. You did this. This is your fault.
Yeah. So clearly, there's a lot that has changed. You can do a lot of stuff from wherever pretty easily, which really kind of changes the dynamic that all programmers have on how like our jobs are, what the landscape is in general. So since you guys do a lot of helping other people break into the tech space, get jobs, etc., I was curious how you think this is affecting things. Like, are you still having a lot of demand for that sort of thing, or is everyone kind of doom and gloom and like, oh, there's no way anyone can break in anymore? Or what are you feeling like?
We just talked about this literally an hour ago and just nerded out deeply about it. Look, you have folks like IBM saying they're going to hire 3x the amount of juniors they have in the past. And we're just kind of starting to see the beginning of this, right? Like we thought that AI originally could maybe do more work, but what it's doing is creating more work. The pace at what you're able to develop. You just rattled off, Adam, 10 apps you're working on right now. Right? Like at one time, every developer can do that now. And the speed at which we can move is just completely changed. You need bodies to help guide that process. And so we're starting to see maybe the resurgence of the junior developer or the entry-level engineer like in a way we haven't seen before. And literally just got out of a meeting with a bang-level company who's literally opening back up the recruitment practices for entry-level talent. Like they see the value of having engineers guiding this process, and they realize they might need a lot more than they originally thought. So that's kind of what we're seeing just play out right now from partners and things like that, but also just the usefulness of it, right? Like we can see that we're able to do more, but it still needs our taste. It still needs our input. It still needs our guidance. It still needs someone to point it in the right direction. And I think that's going to be the shine of entry-level talent going forward.
Yeah. So what
Danny-
about the interview process though? Like, so we're struggling with this of like, how do you even interview someone? Because what's the point of being like, hey, could you sort this array, my dude? Because like, who cares? Because you can just throw it in AI.
No, we actually just record. The episode is coming out, I guess, sneak peek for everybody that's here live. The episode's coming out on Thursday. But HackerRank even said that they see the entire interview process changing and that LeetCode is now going to be defunct dead. What's funny is I've been talking about this for over a year, but what they're doing is they've made a web client that's an IDE that you're given a task and it's judging your prompting, the number of attempts that it takes you to potentially get to a result, how you're building your prompts, constructing it, things of that nature, which has like kind of led to a different angle. And one thing that I've been very vocal on is the biggest struggle with the average software developer today is they actually have the wrong mental model when interacting with AI. And this is where a lot of them are struggling. And the thing that I've constantly said to people is it's actually made me like question everything. This happened over Christmas, by the way. Like I'm still mentally struggling. Like Leon knows when this like epiphany scenario happened, I questioned everything for weeks because at the end of the year, last year, ChatGPT and OpenAI, they sent out like this yearly review of like what your archetype is and this and that and all these things. And what was interesting to me was about like June-ish, I switched from ChatGPT being like one of my daily drivers for like email auditing and things like that to a completely different tool. And it said I was like the top 3% of users. And I was like, well, how is that? Like, how is that possible? And I kind of audited what these archetypes meant, all these things. But one thing that got very clear to me was 97% of people using AI tooling, they're not using it correctly. And I then took it a step further recently. And over the last several months, I've been doing a ton via prompting and other things. And I asked every single AI tool that I use, the IDEs that I use, all that good stuff. I said, if you were to rank me, where would you rank me as far as like the average user or the type of user that I am against like the world? Every single one of them said I was in top 1%. At first, I thought there was this like blowing smoke, but then I had like a ton of other developers do the same thing and they got varied results, right? And that led me to believe that if you were to literally ask AI, how do people use it? You'd be so shocked because it almost rants. It's like they keep using me like I'm just a Google search. And I'm like, that's so interesting. And it leads me down this entire path that the average software developer doesn't have the right mental model. And because of that, that's the beginning of the dominoes falling in the wrong direction. The mental model that the average software developer has is a very transactionary model. And that's, I need this thing, give me this thing. I need you to do this, build me this, create this. And once I started realizing that, and the reason why I realized this, by the way, was because of that end of year wrap up. So my theory was, I'm going to do like my LinkedIn series that's kind of popular. I'm going to do a LinkedIn series for AI, and I'm just going to record a bunch of software developers using AI to teach the average person how they should be prompting, right? What I wasn't expecting is for 0 of the software developers to use AI correctly. And then every single recording session ended up with me teaching them how to use AI. And that's when I realized we have a bigger gap than I walked in here knowing. It made me question every AI take because whenever somebody was saying AI is bad, I'm like, I agree with you. If I got the results that you got, I'd feel like it's bad too. I would feel like it's a terrible scenario to be in. But that's when I started realizing where the gap was. And I did an AI masterclass about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago. And the interesting thing about that was last week when we did a meetup, I had 6 different people run up to me to show me their prompts because they're like, oh my God, this changed so much. Last night in my Discord, someone said, my monitor stopped working and I was about to prompt it to find out what was going wrong. And then I instantly said, hold on, let me try it the way Danny said. He said, the level of information that I got, I've never gotten that quality of before. And that just went to show, he even said, it's like, It's my mental model shifting. Like it totally changed everything that I was getting. This now lets me see in real time how many software developers were in that wrong mental model and how many are now leveraging it in the right way. And I think like over the next 3 months, what does that even look like? How much are they going to unlock that they didn't even know was there previously? And I think that's like the big reason why we even see stats right now where companies are saying, we brought all these licenses for Copilot, which come on, but other tools too. And they're like, we saw no productivity output. Like I was talking to a senior vice president of engineering for this Fortune 500 company. I won't say which, but he said, I bought 700 licenses for our engineers. And Danny, the only thing I did was create a 7-figure bill. AI is a joke. And I'm like, just out of curiosity, when you handed them the licenses, did you give them a reason to use this besides saying, hey, we bought this thing? And he just stared at me like this was the craziest question I ever asked in my life. And then he realized like, yeah, I didn't do that. But I just thought they would be into it. It's like, why would they be into it if you gave them no reason to do the thing?
Yeah, if they didn't know what it could do, why would you try it randomly? For sure. But yeah,
I think that's most companies right now.
We've had that too. Like we had a meeting where someone up the chain, I don't remember exactly what position or whatever, was like, hey, yeah, like only 25% or less of people are using these Copilot licenses that we got. Like, why? Like, we should all be using this all the time. And I don't think it really made anyone think, oh, I should use that, because he still didn't tell them why. He was just like, you should use it. But yeah, it's like, it's definitely completely different than like Copilot 2. You can choose all your models and stuff now. So it's not like the original Copilot of like, it was just not that great. Now it's like, you can use Opus, you can use everything. You can like, you can actually use that license in OpenCode, which is what I do. And then you can just like run everything through OpenCode. You don't even have to do like Copilot through like VS Code or anything. So I've been having good results with Copilot personally.
Do I want to go down this path? Hold on.
Maybe. Yes, that's what the spice is for, dude. That's okay. This show, by the way, everybody who's here, this is kind of like Hot Ones, where Hot Ones makes people answer spicy questions and then deal
under
with
a little bit of duress.
Spicy thing.
Yeah.
You're under a little bit of duress here. You got whiskey. We've given you the Matsui Sakura Cask, single malt. Dude, let it flow through your veins and execute whatever's in your brain, man. Hit it. We're ready.
So we're at this stage where a lot of the models are starting to average out, and they will. There's some clear outliers of output of what you'll get from certain models. Like we just actually recorded an episode right before this on how we felt with 4.6 and 5.3 codecs over the last month, right? And how our initial takes have really changed quite a bit, especially mine. Like I thought 4.6 was the bee's knees, and it's definitely not. Adam, don't smile. It's gonna make me laugh. Anyway,
dude, look, I love it. No, this is great. You said bee's knees, and I'm like, yeah, that's my generation. You didn't call it anyway. There's like cooler words that you didn't.
There are, but like my mind went to everything that's like not family friendly. But anyway,
hey, we're not family friendly.
This is not the family friendly show. This is the time to cuss, dude. Yeah, dude.
The whiskey should have been a tell. The whiskey should have been a tell, but it wasn't a clear outlier to me. A lot of the models are averaging out, and they will continue to do so. But the way things shift is the infrastructure around the model that manipulates the prompt and the response. So that is why certain tools have better responses. It's not directly the model, it's the way that it's inferring things. And so I actually do like OpenCode. I've been testing it quite a bit. I have even recommended it to a couple clients when we're in the consulting space. Like, it's a cool tool, I think. I think they did a really good job. They did a bang-up job. There's other tools that I do quite a bit with. Right now, I'm a big fan of anti-gravity. I have very, very big ideas on like where I think the field of AI is going, especially like around software development. And I think they align with a lot of that thought. So I like supporting that tool. I think it's really great. I like Cursor too, but I do like that anti-gravity for the Ultra plan. I think it's like $249 for like 3 months or something. Like they're doing some special that I got. And so you can max it out nonstop and not pay any overages. So I'm a pretty big fan of that. But the way that their infrastructure around the prompt, the output is pretty phenomenal. And so because of that, I like that. And I think we're hitting the stage now where infrastructures of tools will manipulate the prompts in a way and the responses in a way that will change the experience for the user. And we're getting
talking about harnesses. Do you know what the test like an AI harness is? Okay, sweet, dude. Then you're on point. Yeah, the harnesses are different amongst all these. Yeah,
all different.
Yeah. But there's another stage that we're starting to get to that you've already seen, like cursor kind of display, where they have like this UI element that will edit things. Because the last 3 weeks, I've kind of been learning a lot more about this new area that I didn't really pay attention to. And that's the product manager, the TPMs, how they're leveraging tools like Claude Code or other tools in that realm, because they are using it, but they're using it in ways that a software developer would never use. And it's kind of really unlocked a lot of the way that I'm seeing things. That's why like a lot of these reasoning models have been trying to work on doing more with less, meaning people that aren't prompting well, it's trying to figure out what it is that they're attempting to do so that way it can give a better response, so that way they have a better experience. But to a certain degree, they also know that the average user that is in that realm probably isn't doing something heavily technical, so they can deal with less higher quality prompt or higher quality response, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's the new era we're in. Like, it's another thing we talked to Zach from Warp about is like, I think that's an implementation detail. Like, I should, maybe not like me specifically, I'm doing a little bit more with AI than your average person, but, for the masses to use it, I think it should still just be a text box. I don't need to really care that much about what I type in it. And the harness should come into play of like, oh, we've thought about how you would do this, what results you might get, how to make it better, like how many agents we need to spin up for you. I shouldn't even need to figure out, I need a TypeScript agent and a whatever agent and a this one to do this and a this one's going to do this. I have this thing, I've planned it. You figure out implementation detail of the tool, how it's done. And I think whoever does that the best is going to win this game we're in.
Can they please call it Gandalf? Like, I feel like Gandalf, like he's like, oh, I took hobbits and dwarves and a bunch of dorks. And we took down the ring. We took the ring and we put it in the thing. Can that be like what it's like using a test harness where I'm like, hey, here's my whack, weird, like little request. And then Gandalf, you're just going to make that happen, right? And Gandalf's like, fool of a toolkit, your prompt is stupid. And he's like, let me create a team for you. He creates a team.
I mean, that's why I like your OpenClaw, Adam, right? Like it's a new way of interacting with this stuff. It's the ultimate harness if I can just do it in Telegram or Discord or whatever, and it figures out what to do,
It's better than that, dude. It is in Discord. It's where you are, and it's your little puppy. So here, a way I like to think about it is Claude has a high floor. And that's one of those like oxymorons. Anyway, it means that like your entry level into Claude is you give it something stupid and it does good stuff out. However, it has a small ceiling, meaning that since they've pre-baked so much shit into it, you don't actually get to go beyond the ceiling of Claude. Now, Pi is not the same. Pi has a lower floor, meaning once you start using it, it's like, I'm a harness that does stuff. And you're like, cool, what do you do? And it's like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? And to a lot of people, that's really frustrating. But as you work with it, as you teach it your way, as you want to rebase, I want to use stacks, I want to use work trees, you tell it all the things that are meaningful, it acquires these, and all of a sudden the floor constantly rises. And now the clutch thing happens with Pi is it doesn't have the ceiling. The ceiling is not there. The ceiling is you and it and where you want it to be. And that's, I think, where we're moving towards is the battery included Claude was really dope at first. But the puppy that you got to train over time and acquires, and months of your interactions grow the ceiling higher than a ceiling could ever grow inside of Claude. Now that is the primo scenario. Leon, I want to hear more about the way that you're using cloud agents. Just tell me more about that.
I mean, I think probably around January, I switched to a very different workflow than I've been using before. And one of the big things was for me, for a long time, I've been using Cursor Web. When we talk about harnesses, I find Cursor consistently gives me the best results. I'll use Codex 5.3 even inside of Codex and get different results than I will inside of Cursor. And I think there's some bit of like, I just know how to use it and I've become comfortable with it, so it gives me better outputs. But inside of Cursor, I've always been using Cursor Web. So I've been able to look at things just on my phone. I was at the beach. I was on my phone doing a little agent. I'm in line at a grocery store, little web agent. And so in January, late January, they put out long running agents. So now it's kind of like a Ralphie or a Ralph loop, but in the cloud for you that can run 7, 8+ hours and solve really kind of meaty things for me. And so before I go to bed, I have my little to-do list. I go through it. I add it to a Cursor long-running agent. And in the morning, like you're saying, I wake up, I have my tea, I read everything that's been committed, I work through it, I bring it in if I need to bring it in. And it's completely changed kind of how my day-to-day goes. I have ADHD, like pretty extreme, horrible ADHD. And I finally feel like I have this workflow where I have like 5 projects that I'm just swapping in between. While one's building, I'm doing something else. And so for me, the long running agents were a big unlock because I had been using Ralph and Ralphie pretty hardcore. So having that running somewhere else, now you have things where like they can show you previews and like the agent can like work through and click through and it gives you like a video of what it was able to do. So that's a really interesting piece there. And then for me, just day to day inside of Cursor, really heavily using plan mode. That the way that kind of before I was using Ryan Carson's kind of their kind of plan mode before it became part of Claude and became part of Cursor. But I really find that Cursor's plan mode is really, really how I think. And I'll go back and forth with it for a while, typically a 4.6, and then I'll switch over to 5.3 to do all the implementation details. And it rips. It's able to just build what I want it to build. I have a bunch of other secondary things. One of the tools that Danny showed me, Snyk, for making sure security pieces are there. Bugbot isn't. I could never not use Bugbot going forward. Bugbot, for folks that haven't used it before, is kind of like a code review tool, like a grep tile or something similar to that. So once my stuff is done, it gets pushed to GitHub. I have just a command to push it to GitHub. It does really good kind of everything for me, does everything for me, but then Bugbot runs, cleans up all my mess. Vercelbot runs, cleans up all my mess. Snyk runs, cleans up all my mess. And I'm really trying to get to this point to where I trust it enough to not have to read it. I still read everything. I still like digging through it. I catch stuff every once in a while, but I want these layers going, especially if I can have a long running agent that can fully test stuff. Before I was using Playwright, but that just murdered my token count. But if I can have something that can go end-to-end test, I can have it do browser testing. I can have it do all my security audits. I can have it do all of my code review. And I can get to this point to where I can trust the output. That's my ultimate goal. And so I don't think I'm there yet, but for like 80% of my stuff, I am. And I feel confident that I can start kind of Rick Rubin in it and just lean into my taste, lean into like what I like and don't like, and then just keep it going, you know? So that's where I want to get. Yeah.
So then if you do that, my follow-up question is like, you know,
Sure.
that's a utopia we're all like trying to get to, I guess, of like, I can just trust it all the time, right? At what point do you audit it though? Like all these tools are gonna start like going off the rails at some point and hallucinating or getting worse. I would think like, I just don't think it can go forever of being good. I don't know if you have any
I mean that it's, and to be totally clear, it is not there yet. like don't listen to this and like go change your entire workflow. Like it's not there. It runs into weird things. You're also talking to somebody that like tests in production, loves feature flags. Like I wanna be in this world where I can just ship stuff. If it breaks, I roll back, and I want the AI to know when it rolls back, right? And sometimes you leak some security keys. That's okay. Like we just keep it going. And so it might not work for a production level works, but for what I'm building, it's good enough. And maybe one day we'll get there, you know?
Yeah.
And again, it's not, just to be clear, it's not perfect. It's not how I currently always ship code. It's what I'm actively trying to work towards, though. I want to get to a world where I can do that and then focus on product and focus on like getting to what customers actually need, and then also maybe spending time on like the more nitty-gritty engineering decisions that one would have to make. And if I can have 4 cloud agents running while I'm doing that, doing the UI work that I don't want to do, like great.
Yeah. The amount of stuff it lets you do that you would have never touched before because you didn't want to touch it is so awesome. Like, I was just like, hey, Shepherd is written in Svelte, and I tried to upgrade it to Svelte 5, and it got way bigger for some reason. And I went, that's not good. So I was like, hey, what if it was in Solid? And it was like, boom, it's in Solid. And I was like, all right, what if it was in no framework? And it was like, boom, it's just TypeScript. And I was like, sick, ship it. Like, the amount of, like, that would have taken me months and months and months of work to figure out how to do that. And you can just ask it and it just provides. So it's like, it's a crazy world.
And asking is that like prompting technique that people kind of mix up. They're so used to telling it to do something, but asking it how to do something can give you phenomenally better results, especially since it knows more a lot of these verticals that you don't know, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, start with plan mode. Because if you just go into build, it could go down the wrong track. But if you do plan and you're like, your plan sounds great, then you know it's going to be doing the thing you wanted.
I want to capture y'all's hot tips for using AI right now. So like, and I'll start because this is all new for everybody, right? Models are now good. To recap where we're at, everybody, models are now good. We're now realizing that the way that we interface with them, we have to change the way that we ask for them. They're not search engines, as Danny was talking about. So how do you get the most out of it? Leon is pitching plans. Plans are awesome. I want to pitch that you have it establish the baseline. Like, what is today like? What is the code now? Where do I want it to be? I expect it to be this state afterwards. And so one of the things that I've been doing is having it track where it's at now. Give me a test, run a test that says this is the performance of something right now, for example. Now I want you to go make this change and I want you to measure performance afterwards. If the performance is not better, then this PR is shit. Okay, just throw it away. And that's how we work. It's like, I want you to track now, and then if then is not better, then we'll move on. So that's one of my tips right now is try to orient this thing about outcomes that you're expecting. And if the outcome is not better than it is now, it's trash work and you can move on. So it should allow you to move faster as you sort of iterate through ideas that you want or that you thought you want, but then you realize the outcome is actually not. It's outcome focused, outcome of what you want, outcome of what is today. So I'll throw that to y'all for sharing your how to prompt AI to get the things that you want tips.
Should I follow that? I don't know if my response is going to be positive.
Do it.
Let somebody else follow that.
Spice. Let the spice out, dude. This is the dragon. Let the dragon out, you know?
You know, I appreciate that, like, you've had good experiences with that. I would almost challenge you the next time that you use AI to try maybe something slightly different. And the way that I challenge people is, especially in regards to code, to allow it to index itself first. This is the problem that a lot of people don't. What you're describing is that transactionary mental model. I need this thing, and if you're not performing higher, this is trash. Where the way that I think about the prompt is, it's almost impossible for it to be wrong if it follows the way that I've listed things out. One of the ways that I listed out is by, number one, allowing it to index everything that it needs to index first. So instead of giving it a task, what I say is, this is our potential theoretical goal. Here is a suggested way that I think we could do this. Tell me why this is wrong if it is wrong. Challenge this. I would also like you to find out where this could potentially break, or what am I missing? That one question alone allows it to do far more research around secondary or third level components to ensure that we're not prop drilling, we're not breaking this down, we don't have edge cases that we're not aware of, and I have it do a full audit, right? Prepare a markdown document that I need to know. It's not that I really need to see it. Maybe sometimes I'll look over it, but it's now that it has a full picture of everything that it's comprising, because AI is amnesic by nature. It needs to be amnesic. It needs to forget because it doesn't necessarily know what problem you're going to present it the first time around or the next time around. And so because that, we need to establish said baseline in the parameters that we need. Then once we start giving it tasks, it's able to take it to such further levels than it ever has prior. So because of that, I don't personally like leading with a transactionary mindset or conversation, what I like to do is almost look at it as like a senior developer on my team that's challenging me. Like that a-hole that just always wants to argue, or he always wants to fight, or something along those lines. I want that dude on my side.
The devil's advocate.
He wants to merge. He wants to get merged. The mother lover wants to get merged when we're all rebasing, okay? We've already established this is a rebasing universe over here, and he wants to merge. But because of that, he now has enough information to where if I don't necessarily know of a strategy, this is information I wasn't even aware of. The problem that a lot of software developers have is they automatically do the mental work without having the full picture. They have their determination of a full picture, but they don't have the actual full picture. And because of that, there's edge cases that aren't really edge cases that they miss. This allows all that to be solved. And then what happens with a lot of the output is you find an edge case that wasn't really an edge case, but in your mind it was, that is now a bigger case. And because this is not performant at the level that you wanted it to be, you now question everything the model did beforehand and it throws it away. Whereas if we set it up right the first time, it indexes all of this like sphere of information to where now it's almost impossible that it's not more performant.
Need more whiskey.
Leon, how are you?
How are you I filled up a cup on that one.
That's good, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, no notes from me.
How about your processes? Like, what are some other things, Robbie, have you been playing with that you've noticed have been helpful?
Well, the first thing, like, just picking tools and seeing how they like are different, like the harness we talked about. Like, I think OpenCode does the best, like compared to like Copilot is not the best. Warp is pretty good too, but OpenCode tends to be a little bit better. I don't know. Like I've been mostly experimenting with that stuff, like trying to figure out, like OpenCode's big thing was they had, I always forget the freaking acronym. What is it? Someone will, LSP? Yeah, I think is the word or acronym, right? Like that's
language server protocol?
Yeah, I think like that was their thing is like, we know what TypeScript is. So it's better than like one that didn't. And maybe that doesn't matter as much on the latest models or whatever, but like picking tools you like, there's so many different tools now. There's the one Adam, I haven't tried it yet, but it looked cool. Like I think it was like CMux or whatever, where it was like,
oh, that was like Arc and Tmux had a baby. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's also Intent by Augment, which is anyway. Yes, there's so many tools right now with proliferation of tools.
Yeah, so like that's been the majority of what I'm doing is like it's a new day. Here's a new tool. Let's try something new. See how it works. Because like I don't want to be too granular. Like I said earlier, like I want them to figure it out for me. So I don't need to be like I want 7 agents that have these specific personalities. I'm not doing a Ken Wheeler OpenClaw where it's a whole team of like super smart animals that like they all have their own roles. Like I don't care that much. But yeah, I think like OpenCode does a good job too of like, I'm going to spin up subagents for like, these 3 things for you. So you don't have to care. But yeah, also the built-in thing on GitHub is so compelling. Like you got a little agents tab, just like boop, and you just go in and tell it to do stuff. And it's like,
I've been rocking that.
Yeah, I love it being right there because like, I was telling when we first saw it, it just kind of showed up. I was telling Adam, like usually when GitHub has something show up, I'm like, I could do without whatever you put in here. But I was like, this is sick. I would like, this is going to change the game. People just won't leave GitHub. They'll be like, here's this issue, implement it for me, done. And then like, if it's not right, you just at Copilot.
It's got the Kanban board built in. Have you all tried Vibe Kanban yet? Like any of the flavors of it where like you basically just create a task list of things that's like cards on a board and all of a sudden AI moves them forward.
That's cool.
I'm like, that shit's amazing.
Yeah. You were just talking about this where it's like the tooling. I mean, you've always had developer experience stuff, right? Like you've always had things that like made our lives easier. But we're at the point now where I'm making very serious decisions, based on how easy it is for my agents to use these tools. Whole new databases I've never used before. Whole new orgs I never would have touched with a 10-foot pole because it makes it 3 seconds faster with my agents, right? And so I think we're just in this new world where even these companies have been around for a while. If you don't have good ways for my agents to talk to your stuff and make it easy for me to use, it's just over. I'm not using your tool anymore.
Yeah. MCPs, skills, get it all. You got to have it. Can't not have it anymore.
It's weird because I'm with Leon in certain areas, right? Like if my tool can't necessarily communicate well with your tools in an agentic flow, like that's a disconnect. Prime example, Leon mentioned Snyk earlier. I'm a big fan of them. They need to cut me a check, by the way. I've converted so many people to using this tool. Like, y'all need to cut me a check.
Good.
Can y'all sponsor this podcast?
Wait, SNYK? Hold on.
Yeah, SNYK.
Okay, yeah, let me share it here.
Yeah, I like them, and they need to sponsor both of our podcasts. How about that?
Are they the one with the dog logo? Is that the right thing?
Yes.
The right thing?
Is that the right thing? I think so. Hold on. Yeah, it's the dog, yeah.
Okay.
I only had to type in the letter S, and it was the first thing that popped up on my browser.
Here we go.
But,
I got y'all.
Yeah. So I do like tools that communicate well, but unlike Leon, I'm still like, especially with like my side projects, like one project I've been working on right now is called Event Convo, right? Which is my solution to like Meetup.com, Eventbrite, etc. I feel like it's probably the right solution for meetups, especially from the organizer perspective, conference speakers, or just meetup speakers just in general, conferences and actual attendees. It's solving problems that people just have never thought about, and I don't necessarily know why. And like, I think right now it's like at 140,000 lines of code. So when I use it for like these AI demos, it's no longer going from 0 to 1. I feel like everyone does 0 to 1. Nobody's really interested in that. Like most developers are working on something that's pretty large. And so seeing AI work within a large code base is a very, very, very different scenario. And by the way, having a live chat is super distracting for me. Like I keep going.
I don't know how everybody does.
I'm so Twitch brained. This is my element. I love it.
Oh, see, like I'm so like hyper focused. Like someone's like, "What does Snyk do?" And I'm like, "Hold on, let me deviate right here." Snyk is a tool. It's one of my favorite tools. Actually, I use it a lot. And you connect it to your GitHub repos or whatever it may be, and it will do audits and it will find security vulnerabilities if there are any, and it will report it to you. Once in a while, it has something that's not necessarily like a legitimate vulnerability, but it could be something that you should pay attention to. So you're making the willful choice to ignore said thing, but at least it's bringing it to your attention. And so I think that, especially as people are like vibe coding or building tools without like being hands-on, I think this is like a really good, safe way to at least protect yourself a little bit, right? I'm more on the hands-on type, but I like having an extra thing there in order to confirm that I'm accurate. Because one thing that I've talked about on the podcast in the past, the one thing that I'm really like geeking out about in particular is SLMs versus LLMs, small language models versus large language models, and orchestration layers that are trained on certain knowledge bases. And we literally just recorded this, by the way. But
go, dude, do it.
One thing, over the weekend, I was building a tool. Part of my role, I work at Atlassian, so transparent there, but I'm creating a lot of coding content, tutorials, things like that. And one thing that I was recording was I had the idea that what if we had like a Discord, custom Discord bot, that anytime that someone got a certification and something Atlassian related, we can use a Discord command and it would create a Jira ticket. Because when they get certified, a lot of us don't know. And so it's not until they tag us in a post thanking us for like helping them get to XYZ goal do we finally realize, oh, you got certified. But if we had this automation there, it would create the Jira ticket and then we would know to go say, hey, kudos to you for getting certified in XYZ, right? Cool tutorial. I feel like there's a lot of use cases for a lot of other communities as well with this. Regardless, fun little automation. When I use Claude and I use 5.3 Codex to audit my code base to say, hey, did I miss anything? And both of them said, really solid, great best practices here, because I'm using Atlassian Forge, which is JavaScript using React components to create SaaS products. And honestly, one of the cool things about it is it alleviates the reason why 99.9% of SaaS products die, which I don't know why more people don't know about Forge. I've been geeking out about it, and it's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to join the team. But there are some people making like some serious money on it, by the way, like serious money. But you could literally use JavaScript to make a solution for like Jira, Confluence, etc. It goes into a marketplace that is served to 250,000 enterprise level organizations, and they serve it there. You get their infrastructure, you get their hosting, you get Atlassian security, which is the reason why most SaaS products aren't allowed to get enterprise level customers. You get their security clearances and their security providence just by using JavaScript. You don't need to know everything else, just serve it, right? Regardless, I made this with Forge and I was super proud of it. And that's when I realized Atlassian has RoboDev, which is an orchestration layer that is trained only on Atlassian's best practices. And it found 3 issues. Codex missed it, Claude missed it. But because this small orchestration layer that's super specific on Atlassian's knowledge base, they were able to pick it up. Because of that, I found 3 vulnerabilities that, honestly, 2 of them I wouldn't want in a tutorial. One of them I probably wouldn't want in a production app, but for a tutorial probably doesn't necessarily matter. But it picked up all 3. Claude missed it. OpenAI missed it. But RoboDev picked it up. And that's because SLMs, they're going to be the way that as these models evolve, that's going to be the next wave. I've been talking about this for over a year now, so if you listen to the podcast, you probably already heard this one. But I think SLMs are going to be the way of the future because more nuance into your prompts is going to be where the value is. MCP has its value for sure, but SLM is a closer level of where you would want outside nuance to language-specific knowledge.
I want to back you up. So Shopify just recently has said that if your PR merges and there wasn't an LLM that reviewed it, you're busted. So Danny's here trying to tell you
what
right
if there's
now,
a real
y'all,
person reviewing it?
Hey, real
They're not
people
good
just
enough.
hit the button. You know, it's like you need both.
OpenClaw hired the person to then review the code. Otherwise,
Yeah, rent a human.
Yeah, right. It's like, I mean, that is a threat of what's happening, all right. But like, anyway, it's like what the whole point here is like you need a quorum. Have you ever used an LLM scenario where there's 4 LLMs that you pit against each other? Have you ever pitted Gemini against ChatGPT against Claude against anybody? You get a quorum. So this quorum then starts to debate about the scenario. You can have them debate about your PR. And all Shopify is trying to say right now is if you didn't at least bring one fucking person into the quorum, then you did it wrong.
Yeah.
You need to have an intense reviewer. Someone, Danny's also pitched the devil's advocate. You can put that on your team in Claude, by the way. You can create a new team in Claude and you can have anybody that you want. Put a devil's advocate in there. It's always good to have someone in there that's like a naysayer. This is like, oh yeah, Murphy's Law, bitch. Did you know that this could show up and really thwart your TypeScript system? And you're like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. So anyway, Shopify is all in on this concept of you need to have LLMs not just writing code, but reviewing code. And they don't have to be big language models. You can use an SLM like Danny keeps pitching. And this is a healthy way to move forward, is to have as many different checks and balances as you can. So you've got your CI/CD, your tests, your unit tests, your linters, your style lints, all of these things. Plus you have LLM popping in there. This saves you from security issues. There's a number of things that this is saving you from, and we're automating this. So this isn't like you're in a gauntlet trying to deliver something to a Boeing 747 airplane where like you wanted to change some little factor about the chairs and you had to go through all of this hullabaloo. This is a meaningful set of fast running evaluations that look at what you're trying to do and stop you before you ever ship it. And that's just cool. I also like Leon's strategy though, where he's like, hey, I ship it behind a flag. And if it doesn't work out, then that's all good. And
yeah, you should do that with everything.
Yeah. The other thing too is like I was using Nineball in chat said that good way to burn tokens. And yeah, I was using custom subagents to do this for a very long time. But now BugBot, GrepTile are $40 unlimited per month. Like no reason why there shouldn't be some level of code review for every single commit, you know? or PR at least. Yeah.
If you're open source, CodeRabbit is free, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah, CodeRabbit has been really good to us so far. Just the quality of like the reviews are really nice, actually.
Yeah,
like, Reptile has a cooler name. I'm not going to lie. Reptile is a sick ass name. That's really good.
Yeah.
And
I've
the
been
funny thing is
pleased with
too,
CodeRabbit.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
The funny
ahead.
thing is too is like they've caught so much stuff that I never would have caught. Like there's so many things that like, that never would I have saw that in the first pass. And so it's also like a really cool learning tool, right? Like I'm seeing all these reviews coming in, thinking about things I never thought about. So it's accelerating my pace going forward. That's the other big piece about this that I really like. Yeah,
CodeRabbit found stuff in that like Rust stuff where I didn't know any Rust. It was like, hey, you're converting coordinates from because it was like a 2x screen to like a not 2x screen and vice versa, and all these different methods doing that back and forth. And it was like, this one's off by like a few pixels. Like you probably missed that. And I'm like, how did you went through all of this and found that? Like, so yeah, they're really good at like, I think another harness thing of like, they just tell it really good stuff about being good at reviewing. And it checks that stuff that if you just generically threw like, hey, Claude, check
specialized models,
it would be not as good. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
a little too tipsy there.
Yeah. Well, we're over time anyway. So if he's not coming back, I don't know what he's doing. We could end it here, I guess.
I was calling for a round 2 anyway. This was
we should
way too much fun.
Yeah. Anytime. They did say 1 minute, so they did put the finger up before it wasn't like
nice.
Dropped. Yeah.
Sounds like a potty break, you know.
Yeah. He went to get another Coke to mix with the
So wait, Leon, I sent you my Pokemon Go code for your friends. Do you still play? Are you playing Monster Hunter?
I've played older versions of Monster Hunter. I haven't played any of the newer ones.
But the mobile, have you played the mobile app?
No, I've not played the mobile. It's good.
Oh my goodness, bro, it's really good. It's like the only game I play on my mobile phone where I'm like, this feels like it's a next gen mobile game. And it uses all of the Pokemon Go like backing. You got to be like physically walking around.
Dope. I'll try it. Yeah, no.
Anyway,
I still play Pokemon Go here and there.
Same.
I'm a big TCG player, so I play PTCG Live.
We played in the house too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at like level 97 right now on that. So
sick.
Yeah, that's my main one.
What's your favorite Pokemon? So I know it's a hard question, but do you know it?
Like favorite, because I grew up playing this stuff is Bulbasaur.
You can tell me your childhood favorite.
Yeah, it's Bulbasaur. I put up a tweet the other day. I showed the wares. So in 1999, I won the first Pokemon tournament. Like I've been in this stuff since the beginning. Yeah,
yeah. I
got the badges to show it.
There was one, and you were the winner.
So there's 3 different cups that you could win in. Like if it was before, like you could like level to 100, you could level to like 50, you could and there's different cups. So I won my cup. But like it wasn't like a Swiss tournament that you have now. It was like you only had so many matches that you won. And if you won, you could go play the gym leaders. So I won my cup, I won all my matches, and I beat all the gym leaders. So I got all these like cool badges and a hat. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And I was the first person to play Pokemon Go outside, which was another interesting thing. Like
wait, hold on.
Live stream it outside. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably not the first person to play it
outside. No, live stream it playing outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I still casually play. I dipped out about like a year or 2 ago. I started to slow down, but I was Pokemon going for a long time, like consistently.
Yeah. It sucks that it's not as popular anymore because like it was so fun, and then everybody's just so fickle and like, ooh, new thing, or I'm not on TikTok enough. Let me stop this. Like. I don't know what everyone's doing.
The cool thing in LA is it's really popular still in LA. Like you can go to any of the hot spots. If you go to Promenade in Santa Monica, you'll see everyone just like glued to their phones playing. And so there's still like a scene here, which is really nice.
I love it when you go somewhere new and there's just like lures on all the stops and you're just like, oh man, people are playing. I love it. I go to Japan. I'm like, people are playing Monster Hunter, right? And I'm like, oh, I guess a little bit, but not as much as Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go still has lures everywhere. And I'm like, okay.
So same question to you, Adam. Favorite Pokemon and then favorite game.
Oh, man. Favorite Pokemon. It's the, oh shit, dude, I'm going to sound like a noob right now. Cause like I have a terrible thing with names. And I don't know what it is, but it's the Toxtricity.
Oh, nice.
There you go. I just like, so like, as you can see, guitars and stuff. And so, well, Toxtricity is like this purple punk rock Pokemon. It's basically got a mohawk that goes all the way past his butt onto his tail.
That doesn't sound like an original 150 to me. So
it's not an original. No, this is definitely a modern one. For games that I really like, dude, the Pokemon Go mobile app has been by far the one I've put the most hours in. I've played a lot of the ones on Switch. They're really good. I feel like a little bit grinding in those. Oh, they're grinding on Switch? What am I doing on mobile? Oh shit, I'm grinding. But the mobile one's like a little more casual as opposed to like I got to sit down and play the Switch ones. But Violet, I don't know. I really liked Violet. Like once they modernized some of the like interactions, I'm into that. I like it when technology kind of takes the
I got a lot of
mental
shit for
model
that
of catching.
Too. Yeah.
Did you?
I really like Scarlet and Violet. I put 15 hours before the first badge into the game. Awesome. And early on, there's like this weird river I tried to cross. I went in, like followed it, found like a hole in like the side of a mountain, went up into this field, and there's a huge Arcanine running around the middle. I like lost my mind. I was like jumping up and down on my couch. Like, yeah. So I think those moments are really special. And I really enjoyed Scarlet Violet for sure.
Yeah. I did all the things where like the mobile integrations with Scarlet and Violet, like with the Pokemon Go app. I sat down and me and my kids were like sitting around. I'm like, all right, you need to hit that button right now because I'm ready to trade and you're kind of wasting my time. So would you hurt? I was like, the Gimme Ghouls drove me nuts though. And like the gold lure thing, did you actually get the Gimme Ghoul to 1,000 coins and evolve him?
Hell no.
Okay. Dude, I knew people that did. They're around me. They're like they're like my neighbors. And I'm like, y'all are crazy. I'm like, I admire you in a weird way. You have no life and kids, but that's cool that you did the Gimme Ghoul thing. Anyway, Haxorus was one of my other favorite ones because I'm a coder. And I just love this name, Haxorus. It's just cool.
Love it.
All right. Well, we probably should end at this point. We're 20 minutes over time. We should definitely do another one, though. This was fun. So, yeah, thanks for everybody hanging out. Thanks for you guys coming on. What do you guys want to plug or mention before we end? Anything?
Forge. My mom.
What does a plug mean? I don't know what a plug is. Here's a rubber circle. I would like to give you that.
Man, I said the company I work for. He says his mom. You know what I will shout out? The Commit Your Code conference. I'll shout that one out. If you listen to the podcast, you should probably know about it, but we're bringing it back again this year. So if you have a company that wants to sponsor, I'd love to have a conversation with it. But last year we had almost 1,000 people in person. 860 was the top total for the conference in person, and we had 8,100 attend online. I definitely want to increase those numbers, so like I'm really actively working towards that. The idea of the conference, for those that aren't aware, it's to do a $700 conference for $40. And you should never feel like it's a charity conference. And we donate 100% of all ticket sales to charity. We don't monetize it. We don't keep it. To be honest, people ask me about that, but like, here's me being transparent because I've had enough of this. Like, I make pretty good money doing what I do for a living. I don't need to make it via a conference. I just want to do something that like is different and really brings excitement to the community. And I feel like this is a way that we're doing it. But also, to be completely honest with you, I spoke at a really well-known conference, and as I came back to Dallas, somebody mentioned like it's their dream to go to that conference, but they can't afford to go. And that is when I realized that this individual in particular had over a decade of experience in tech. So it's not like a junior dev that's dreaming to go to a conference. And I realized then how many individuals were literally missing out on opportunities simply because income was a barrier. So my goal was to create a tech conference where income was no longer a barrier to people getting access to technical resources that will help them grow in their careers. And I feel like we really achieved it with this conference. So we're coming back again this year for the third year, still figuring things out. But I think right now we're aiming towards the end of October. We're going to do something very, very big this year compared to the previous two. We had to already change venue, so we're already working on that right now actively. But be on the lookout for the CFP, which should be going live in a couple weeks. Give or take, and we'll have something big to announce.
No, I shout out Moms because she was the one that took me all the Pokemon tournaments. So if we're talking about it, I always got to shout out Moms. Shout out 100 Devs community. I see so many folks in chat. And of course, Resilient Coders if you're in the Boston, Philly, or Maine area for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to, please subscribe, leave us some ratings and reviews. We appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.
Peace, y'all.
You've been watching Whiskey Web and Whatnot, recorded in front of a live studio audience.
What the fuck are you talking about, Chuck?
Enjoyed the show? Subscribe.
You know people don't pay attention to these, right?
Head to whiskey.fun for merch and to join our Discord server.
I'm serious. It's like 2% of people who actually click these links.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about the show.
All right, dude, I'm out of here.
Still got it.